And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell-Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell-Blanken. Tyler, it is Sunday morning. We are hours removed from the Royal Rumble. I'm pretty tired still. How you doing today?
I'm tired as well, Brad. It's great to see you, though. Yeah, man, what a big week or month, I guess, for us, for GI, for the wrestling community. There are just conversations galore, news headlines every day, speculation always ever present. I'm a little tired, but I think we have a lot of great conversations ahead regarding the Royal Rumble and really AEW and everything wrestling centric. So happy to be here, man. So grateful for you as always, and excited for what we have in store.
Likewise, yesterday was a long day, but it was also an emotionally draining day. The way the Rumble ended, we will talk about this. Probably the best storyline I've ever seen in the history of my involvement with watching professional wrestling. I can't think of anything that I've been more invested with storyline wise ever. It was masterfully done. The rest of the show, maybe not so much. We'll get into it. Let's start with the 30-man Royal Rumble, which kicked off the event. It went an hour and 11 minutes and 42 seconds. And Gunther was there for all 1 hour and 11 minutes. Tyler, he ruled in this, and I'm so happy that the former Walter is finally getting the recognition and the time that he deserves.
So well said. This made me incredibly happy. This is not the first time we've given Gunther flowers on GI, but man, he deserves it once more. I'm looking back at our predictions, Brad, and my predicted Final Four where I hit some of these right. Sami, Cody, Carmelo Hayes. No Carmelo Hayes on the show. And Sami Zayn.
Right.
I, for some reason, did not see Gunther, which now makes so much sense to give your IC champ a big rub, particularly this guy. I'm so looking forward to his ascension this year. I've predicted that he'll probably drop the IC belt at some point, Mania, before, after, maybe at Mania. And then after that, I see him being a heavyweight championship, undisputed universal contender. In my mind, it's Cody versus Gunther at SummerSlam. Like, book it right now. Sign me up. Yeah, this was amazing. The Walter character was this like huge Austrian Haas.
Yes.
Bigger guy. The way he's transformed himself now into being this slender yet imposing workhorse. I wouldn't have foreseen Walter in a Rumble for an hour, but Gunther is just a different cat. This was amazing. I love this for him.
Yeah, I agree, man. I was looking at my Final Four too. I was pulling it down. I was like, for the Final Four, for the men and for the women, I only had one correct answer. Well, I mean, outside of Cody, I think we both nailed Cody there. But
Seth was in the periphery. He was close, right?
Yes, yeah, he was Final 5, or was he Final 4?
Logan Paul eliminated him. I don't think he was. It was Gunther, Cody, Logan Paul. And maybe Seth was
I think it might have been Seth.
Maybe
yeah,
Seth
because I think those were the last 3. Yeah. But yeah, I think you're right. I think he was the 4. So you got 2 in there. That's good. I only got 1. I had Bobby and Brock, but
you did. They had a moment.
And it was a pretty good one, actually. I loved that. Number one, a couple of things that I loved from this match. I loved the Miz just coming out to get his ass whooped and to have them take turns by like him behind the turnbuckle and then just dodging, and him just taking Gunther chops over and over again, or Sheamus gut punches while Sheamus and Gunther played with their food a little bit.
Yeah, great call to have Gunther and Sheamus 1-2, by the way.
Yes.
Great call.
I immediately was like, oh damn, this is good. This is how we're starting. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I actually thought this match was booked really, really well. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a fun match. I was completely and totally underwhelmed by surprises and returns and that kind of stuff. Like all the returns that happened really were expected. The lack of NXT talent, the especially one Carmelo Hayes. I really, really hope Escobar's okay. That was an ugly looking fall. The way his neck snapped when he hit the apron was gnarly.
Yeah. He was F5'd out of the ring, right?
I do believe
If I
so.
remember
Yeah,
correctly.
I can't remember if he was
That
F5 or just tossed out, but when he hit the apron,
Yeah, just thrown like a sack of, yeah.
yeah. And I don't
That
know
was
if that
rough.
was on purpose to like keep him from landing on the floor from that height. Hit the apron on the way down, and maybe he was supposed to land on part of the apron and then bounce. I don't
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but it looked like only the hopefully it was the upper half of his shoulders, and it was just like a whiplash situation. But his head snapped really hard, and like you could hear it hit the ring. So I hope he's doing okay. The surprise being Booker T, though cool. I did appreciate that Booker T was there. We got a spin a Rooney.
The spinner Rooney.
Yeah, which is all we
Yes.
really want from him at that point.
Yeah,
He's
a few kicks and then the spinner Rooney and then see you later.
yeah, because he looks really great for
Yes.
considering all he's done in his age.
No doubt.
He does not move really great. So I was not shocked to see that that's what they did with him, but it was a fun spot. It's in his neck of the woods. I thought that was great. That's the kind of stuff I expected more of. I thought we would get more than just Booker, but I was pumped to see it. The crowd pop for the Spinaroonie. I loved it. I just thought it was great. I thought he looked great. Having him in there for a couple seconds was the right move. I did think like Michelle McCool being called, we'll get to the women's match, out from the crowd, saying that it was the first time they saw anybody just sort of get up and go in there. And I'm like, well, JBL did it. JBL was in commentary and he stood up, they played his music and he just took off his jacket and he was all smug and smiling and stuff, got into the ring and immediately got thrown over the ropes. So I don't know if you can say she's the only one to get called in from nowhere, but I thought for sure we would get like, maybe they'd call in McAfee to enter because since he was out there, or whatever, which by the way, McAfee being on commentary for this, that was also great. Really enjoy having him back because he just seems to say whatever the hell's on his mind, like referring to them again as the Banger Bros, even though they know they weren't supposed to, and just saying stuff, not just Michael Cole consistently and constantly taking out Top Dollar for no good reason. Just that was not great, man. Like I did not love that. But the McAfee stuff I thought was really good. Just him just sort of saying shit was funny.
Commentary was solid here. Pat, I have a love and hate. Hate's probably a strong word, but sometimes it's hit or miss. Yeah. Sometimes it's hit or miss for me with Pat. I have a lot of people I know who are huge Pat McAfee fans, and especially what he brings to WWE. I can totally respect the enthusiasm. Sometimes it's a lot for me, and it's just not really my cup of tea, so to speak. But here I thought it worked. Huge pop. Great to have some new energy to the booth. I love the bromance between Cole and Pat.
Yes. Great chemistry there.
It seems incredibly genuine. And on the other hand, I did enjoy the banter between Corey Graves and Pat McAfee. I thought the three of them worked really well and totally added to this match.
Yeah, I thought the three of them was money. Like I couldn't believe how good it was. Those three, because Pat and Michael Cole, we know have great chemistry, and those three together have been great. And I know Corey's done stuff with them in the past, but those three specifically, have that for your big shows. Those three they play so well back and forth. And I think Corey was confused toward the end when Pat and Corey were sort of agreeing with each other. And I don't know that Corey wanted to agree with that. I like that. I don't like it as storyline, but I just really enjoyed it. I thought like the little passive aggressive things with Corey were great. I know you saw my tweet last night that I popped pretty huge when they cut back to, I think before the main event, where Pat did the little pencil flip, throw it in the air and catch it aggressively. And then Corey did it and missed it and just looked angrily over at Pat. I just love those little things. I thought it was a blast. I thought Pat worked here like you. I think Sometimes it's too much, but every once in a while you'll get like you could just tell Michael Cole's energy just shifted.
He was glowing when he was looking at Pat. I thought
I'm glad you said that.
I thought of the meme, get you someone who looks at you the same way Michael Cole looks at Pat McAfee. It was real. It was beaming. I was happy for him.
Speaking of glowing, he did comment that about Michael Cole reacting somehow when Twitter said he looked pregnant yesterday on SmackDown, and I was like, damn, you're really just gonna do that right on live? And you just hear like in the mics because they don't know what to do. You just hear those little suppressed laughs happening, kind of like what they did when Titus fell underneath the ring, and they tried to keep it together and they just couldn't. And they
Titus
just went
World
with it.
Slide, never forget.
Oh, unbelievable. Well, they can't let us. They keep showing it. I thought they did him dirty in that Rumble highlight package because they showed it slow motion, 3 different angles.
Didn't they sell merch as well after that?
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Which again, like, hopefully he got a cut of. So
I hope so.
I think he's comfortable. But yeah, they did him kind of dirty there.
That was like the end of his wrestling career, though. Have you seen him wrestle since?
Not really, man. And let's not forget, this was a Saudi Arabia show. I think this was the first greatest Royal Rumble. So I'm not saying there's a direct correlation, but those shows have just they're not my favorite, as you know. But good for Titus. I mean, that he will forever be remembered for that moment. Luckily, he didn't injure himself, and if he ended up getting the bag from some tees and hoodies and framed posters for it, why not?
So in terms of surprises, Tyler, we did not get Stone Cold Steve Austin. We did not get The Rock. We did not get Mr. Royal Rumble, Mick Foley. We did not get Naomi. We did not get any other legends really at all. We got kind of hosed on this one. How did you feel about the cameos and the surprises?
Yeah, I was super disappointed, and maybe this is an ideal time for us to kind of combine the Rumbles and talk about them together. We had a few different conversations with friends on social media, via text message, etc., who really enjoyed these Rumbles. And on one hand, I was feeling very conflicted because on one hand, I think the winners made sense. I'm a big fan of both Cody Rhodes, no surprise, and Rhea Ripley. So the storytelling was great, and I think they are more than deserving as the 2 individuals who are going to challenge for the main titles, the main event of WrestleMania. So I think that was awesome. To your question specifically about the surprises, though, my enjoyment of both Rumbles, of the men's and the women's, was significantly affected negatively by the lack of surprises. I want to put all the blame on myself, Brad. I want to say I worked myself into a shoot, but I could have sworn that either Triple H or one of the higher-ups was quoted as saying this was going to be a unique presentation of the Rumble. The surprises, it was going to be not unfathomable. There's a different word to use that alluded to it just being a different. They were going to approach it in a unique way this year. We didn't get anyone that made me sort of leap out of my seat. Like you said, Booker was great. We got Nia Jax unceremoniously appearing as 30, talking about doing people dirty. Whoever was in charge of that.
Oh my God.
They played the music, huge pop. And then I don't know if you caught this, Brad. I'm sure you did.
It was like 10 seconds before it was supposed to happen.
Yes. And I love how the music played. Oh my gosh, it's Nia Jax. She's not like most girls. Great moment for her. But then they showed the timer, ticker at the bottom, and then quickly took it away. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Just go no ticker at this point. Why do we need the ticker? Michelle McCool, Nia Jax, again, men's side, Booker T, Edge returned. Super happy for all those people we mentioned, especially happy for Roxanne Perez.
Yes.
I think that one was my favorite, quite frankly.
Far and away for me too.
I don't know why I didn't see her appearing in her home state. That was an absolute layup. She is going to be a huge star on the main roster, but felt really overwhelmed by the lack of surprises. You mentioned people you and I thought could be real possibilities. The Mick Foleys of the world, Stone Cold. I believe you and I both mentioned Switchblade Jay White in our article at gimmickinfringementpod.com.
Which makes me hopeful that he'll show up in AEW.
Yeah, It really impacted my enjoyment of both Rumble. Some people were saying, "Oh my gosh, this is the greatest men's Rumble ever," and not just Michael Cole saying that to sell us, but actually people on the timeline were saying, "Oh my gosh, this is an all timer." For me, it didn't quite reach that level, but ultimately, I was happy with the end result of Cody going over and Rhea getting her moment. So they looped me back in, but man, I was incredibly disappointed with the lack of huge surprises.
So number one, I think this is one of those hard conversations with Royal Rumble. If you're Triple H and somebody says, "Hey, what can we expect in terms of surprises or whatever this year?" Do you mean the matches or do you mean the event? So for the matches and for the event themselves, I felt like we got surprises throughout the night. We didn't know Pat McAfee was going to be there. We had no idea what the Pitch Black match was going to be, which actually I thought was pretty cool visually. I did not expect it. I thought like that's the place where Naomi comes out. I really liked the given all the glow.
Yeah, we got no Naomi, which was a bummer. Good
I
call
wish
there.
I wish they would have told Bray that not to hit the cups that are sitting on top of the table when he took off the thing, because that spoiled that surprise of the glitter stuff going everywhere. That bummed me out, but I really dug the face paint thing. I've never seen anything like that from Bray. Onto the beard, I thought was really cool, but those were surprises. I guess we didn't know what to expect. The surprises that happened were not really surprises. The debuts that happened weren't really debuts, but we got returns. We had a very, very sick Dewdrop where they were worried about COVID affecting her heart. Coming back and returning, Tyler, we effing got Piper Niven back. Asuka returned, but it wasn't Asuka. It was Kana Asuka.
That was a highlight. Absolutely.
It was my favorite moment of the night. I think for women far and away.
Okay. I love that.
For women far and away, I was jumping up and down yelling. Jess was so confused. She watched the Rumble with me. She's like, I don't get it. Who is this person? But
just probably asked, why is she smiling? Even after she's eliminated, why is she happy about?
Freya had those questions because she was a little creeped out by it.
It was very creepy.
Well, between Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley and Asuka all smiling menacingly at each other, like it didn't make any sense. It looked creepy, like a ring full of jokers. Our final four, we did predict some of them correctly. Tyler, you and I both had Rhea and Asuka. You and I also both had Naomi. I don't think either of us. I have to look at our thing again. Neither of us had Liv. And who was the other one? I can't remember who the other one was. Was it Nia?
No,
it was Nikki. It was Nikki.
There you go. Yeah,
it was Nikki. Yeah,
yep.
Who came out with the most memeable sprint shot in the world. Absolutely hauling ass down that walkway.
Reminds you when you're going to cover fourth period, right? You got to just. Okay, I'm in the J wing, but I got to get to F, and I just.
That's bathroom breaks between periods, man. Yeah. Like that's. I have a precious little time. I got to get to the front.
Are you still doing 6-minute bathroom breaks?
No, they made the passing period 7.5 or 6.5 or something like that. Okay. Now
it was like 8 or 10 at Cactus. It was lengthy, maybe too lengthy.
Yeah, it's about that now. It's about as long as Roman's entrance was. So whatever that time is.
We will get there.
Okay. I thought the match was great. I thought there were great spots in the match. We didn't talk about Ricochet and Logan Paul in the men's match.
Oh, I was just I was letting you cook, and then I was going to. I got you, please.
Because it was just for those of you that are at home that did not see it. It sounded like this. Crazy, like crazy midair collision from post to post, combining midair. I did not see Ricochet not going as far as Logan Paul. But Logan Paul is a much bigger human being, so that's probably why. But my goodness, that dude has heat. And I was trying to talk to Jess about it. It's like, as long as the crowd is reacting, it doesn't matter. He has an absurd following. He's getting a mega reaction from the crowd. Like, yeah, he should be there. He's athletic. He looks the part. He has no business being that good. Even though I can't stand that dude, it's fun not to not stand him. It's fun to boo him.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I still don't know what his talent is or how we got to this level of, like you said,
I know. I don't get it, man. He got there first.
Yeah, man, I've just accepted that there are people and situations that I just don't understand as I get older. So like the fame of the Paul brothers, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But there's no doubt that he has shown up and shown out when we've seen him in WWE. Very disappointing that for a second year we did not see an official Kofi spot. I'm just going to throw this out there, and I think we can live in a world where both of these brothers can shine. But I'm just saying, maybe
Yeah.
Kofi is now passing that annual Royal Rumble moment over to the one and only Ricochet. I could see Ricochet now carrying that mantle of. It looks different, right? It looks different than Kofi's moments, but Ricochet and Logan Paul having that absolute collision made me so happy for Ricochet to have that signature moment. I don't know if Ricochet is going to win a Rumble during his tenure in WWE, but I think he could be that guy every single year that has an absolute bonkers moment. So that made me super happy, Brad. And I was very sad that we didn't get to see Kofi have his shine this year.
I will say that Kofi, 2 years in a row, the first year was just, they could have just shot it better and it would have been fine. This year, it looked like he tried to keep that foot on the chair, but it also looked like he hit his head on the table. So it's better that he stays there. I like that. What you're saying there is it makes a lot of sense. They could have also have done that very easily with a different competitor that would have made him mega over instead of putting a mask on him and sending him to NXT, and that's Reggie, because that dude would have been able to Cirque du Soleil his way around the ring.
Video game stuff.
Yeah, and so I looked it up. Kofi Kingston is 41 years old.
Oh my gosh, he looks amazing.
He looks incredible. Ricochet is 34. He's the ideal person to pass that along to if that's something that happens. But I don't want that. I want him to win.
Maybe we could get. And I don't want to put that all on Kofi. Like if Kofi can still do this for however long he wants to and still have the Kofi spot, I'm here for it. In my mind, though, Brad, in my perfect world, we get a Kofi and Ricochet moment, kind of like Undertaker and Bray Wyatt from Raw 30. Maybe a little whisper action, and then Ricochet now takes that Royal Rumble superpower. I would be here for it.
Yeah, that would work actually. Speaking of spooky supernatural shit,
can I just say before we move on, Montez Ford.
Oh, I'm sorry, my friend.
How are they? Okay, when you sort of toss out Karrion Kross, no big deal, unceremonious. I'm good with that, right? I think Kross, we could go 30 minutes on the state of where he's at in WWE, but we will not. For Montez Ford,
did you say 30? I'm sorry. Did you say 30?
Yeah, no one wants to hear it.
No. That's fine. It's just that's not how many people were in the Royal Rumble. There were 29. I just wanted to throw that out there. Continue.
So true. Yeah, Ray. To not show us Ray being laid out by Dom was a choice. Dom's ascension, by the way, is something we need to speak about in a future episode. That dude had mega heat, not popular with the fan base, and the prison Dom character. The time he got in this Rumble, I think there are big things ahead for that dude.
I agree.
Just want to shout out before I know you're going to lead us perfectly into Pitch Black. Montez Ford, when he came out, I thought, okay, maybe he has his big Final Four moment this year. Thrown out like a sack of potatoes. That made me very angry. After you, I'm ready.
I wasn't expecting that dismount.
Montez. I thought we were all in agreement leaving SummerSlam last year that the Profits were probably going to separate. Not saying I want that, but it felt like it was time. And Angelo Dawkins, like mid-card dude, like really impressing people, and Montez Ford being elevated. Why are we not elevating this guy?
Yeah.
Pitch Black, I'm ready.
Well, every time you throw it to me like that, I'm not. That's hilarious. Okay, Pitch Black match. We went from unclaimed black excellence to pitch black not excellence, not the best. This match was confusing. Tyler, I walked away from this, and I said this in a group text last night where there was a conversation about like them needing to have more time. I fundamentally and wholeheartedly disagree. I think they needed less time. I think the match should have stopped with that, and then they allude to there's more stuff coming. Instead, what we got was a confusing new Bray promo, or a Bray character that I actually loved, that you couldn't see the character until the lights went all the way out. because at first it's just like, all right, it looks like he dyed his beard black and he's got some eye black on himself. And then the neon hit, the black lights hit, and then you see he's wearing like neon reactive contact lenses, or those are his eyes, as commentary said, I believe McAfee. And he had all those intricate paintings on there where he looked a little bit like a lizard person. And I don't get it like at all, but I'm open to it. I think it's cool. I think it's a different idea that nobody's ever done, and I'm fine with it being different because I don't know what this is going to lead to. Now, that being said, I think about how the Fiend went over, and this is not the same thing. At the end of that match, I think people were confused. Tyler, what did LA Knight, besides a spot on the Royal Rumble card and a very prominent spot in that first match, what did he get out of this for his character?
Nothing. This makes me worried that we're seeing a bit of a retread when the Fiend had these feuds and matches, and the person who he defeated or it defeated were worse off. So I think of Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, etc. I hope LA Knight is not that next in line. I don't think he looks better after this at all.
No, especially after being killed by Uncle Howdy, who missed him by 25 feet. Like,
can we talk about that? I don't know if their desired outcome was my laughter by the end of this. But on one hand, I'm happy that we didn't just get Bray Wyatt squashing LA Knight in 5 minutes and then we're moving on, because that to me is what seemed to be happening. I was watching with my dad and we were like, oh, that, I think he even remarked, that's kind of uneventful. It's like, yeah, Dad, you're right. Well, after all this hype, this is it? Like, LA Knight charges at Bray with the lightsaber, Sister Abigail and Dunn. So I appreciate that they extended it. But like you said, Bray mandible claw to LA. Bray is posing, and then we see the silhouette of Uncle Howdy. This is still hilarious to me. I guess maybe I loved it. I don't know. Uncle Howdy just launches himself. just launches himself like what, 15, 20, 25 feet in the air, and completely misses LA Knight. Like, oh no, just completely misses him. But then there's fire, there's Huskus and company watching overhead. I don't know what the desired emotion was for a viewer, but I was laughing.
I was laughing too.
And not necessarily in a positive way.
Listen, man, when Jess, who's not a wrestling fan, she'll watch it if it's on. She likes the Rumble because she's like, oh, that's one of the ones I like to watch. When she's like, her exact word was, well, that was lame. Because she was
next
looking
segment.
forward
Yeah,
to
that's
that
a good
match
summary.
as much as I was. I was like, Bray Wyatt's back, and she knew who Bray Wyatt was.
Oh, very good.
She knows my love. She knows
Shout
the
out
Fiend
Jess.
mask,
Yes.
all that stuff. And I think she's asked about this Pitch Black match more than anything throughout the night leading up to the event. So I'm like, this is, out of all the things, I think this is the thing she was most curious about. I'm not going to say looking forward to, but curious about watching. And then to have that happen and her go, that was lame. Because she's like, well, what is it? It's like, I don't know. Commentary keeps saying they don't know. And then it's like, oh, it's a no DQ match. That's it. So, all right. We're not using Mountain Dew as a weapon. Got it. Okay. I thought maybe Mimosa Mayhem, but with Mountain Dew. Go into a big fizzy bath.
Shout out Lance Storm's Twitter.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah, that's so good. I thought the lights were cool. I thought the spectacle was cool. And I believe and agree with Triple H. WWE does spectacle better than anybody. And I know we've talked about this several times, so I don't need to get into it. But they gave us a spectacle. It was just like dumb, like just stupid. So my problem with it was I still don't know what Uncle Howdy is. What does he represent? Do I care? I don't care. So he jumped on LA Knight. Now, in fairness to that spot, okay, we jumped near LA Knight. In fairness to that spot,
launched himself.
We could only see LA Knight's leg from that angle sticking up. We couldn't see where he landed. For all we know, we hit him flush. If LA Knight was like laying like a banana, like just curved, he's a very long human being. And that camera angle and that lens may have made things look a lot higher than they were, and then screwed with our perspective a little bit. So from the sides, if you were in the arena, maybe he landed right on him. It's just where we saw it, it was like he was very clearly jumping onto a crash pad. And like Jericho's fall from the top of the ring was better than that. I'll put it that way.
Talking about blood and guts.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Where if they would have just changed that angle a little bit, actually, what they needed to do for that match is what they did for this one, and this one looked worse somehow. So the Jericho angle, it's because we saw it from the top, we could see the crash pad. If you would have shot it from the bottom, we wouldn't have been able to see it as much, and it would have looked like much worse when he landed. So I think that was probably intentional. You couldn't see the crash pad from that angle, but it looked like Uncle Howdy was just Uncle missing, like by a mile. Absolutely terrible.
It didn't look great whatsoever. This was not for me. Just a few weeks ago on our show, I shared that I'm back in with Bray and Howdy. I think it was after Howdy, Sister Abigail, Bray.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I think you're pulling me back in now. I'm here for this. And I'm just on a perpetual emotional roller coaster with Bray Wyatt now, Brad. I didn't love this. I think it really affected my enjoyment of the show, and it seemed like the crowd after this went down. I don't know exactly when we want to transition, but you mentioned Uncle Howdy.
Oh, not yet. We have
more. And
more.
us not knowing what is this Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy then not transferred, but we saw him in the next match as well. And I just, it's not hitting the right notes for me at all.
Yeah.
The booking of these matches being back to back. I get it that we have the Uncle Howdy influence in Bray's match and then Alexa's, but these two matches going back to back just did not work for me. I didn't think either match was good. And I usually don't say that on the show because we have such a profound respect for what these amazing, talented performers do. Neither of these Uncle Howdy influences were good in my opinion at all. This really brought down the show for me.
Yeah, it killed the show, the momentum. It made me look forward to the Women's Rumble, which was great. But the Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair match felt like a mid-show Raw match to me. It was like, it was there. It wasn't a pay-per-view match. It was, I hate to say it, Bianca just outclasses everybody she's in the ring with right now. And
she's the EST.
Yeah, she really is. She should not be dethroned for a very long time. Because right now there's just nobody on her level. She's just above it. That's not to say that I'm not disparaging Alexa Bliss. I just did not like this match, but it did set up storyline for Alexa, which is one of the few things that set up anything for the future, right? Like there's the Bloodline storyline set up stuff. The Alexa Bliss stuff got set up, but I feel like all we have is Bray character set up, but not feud set up. So I don't know what the storyline is next. I'm still in on it. I'm still curious to see what happens. I still love Bray, and what they did was really risky. What he did with this character was really risky. So I respect the risk because like it could go over really well or it could not. And at the end of the day, if you're creatively fulfilled, it doesn't necessarily matter that much if people love it. If you are creatively fulfilled, and during that press conference, it sounded like he was. What I'm thankful for is we got to see Bray Wyatt in a wrestling ring again.
Yeah. Amen. And there's a real pressure for anyone with a Twitter account, and then I would say especially us who produce a weekly show, to have an instant take or reaction on everything, wrestling, and then everything, right? So for Bray, maybe we look back at this come WrestleMania and say, you know what, Pitch Black didn't really hit right with us. Brad, I don't know if you enjoyed your Pitch Black beverage.
No,
you were hoping it was going to add to your enjoyment of the match. Great commitment, by the way, on your part. I popped when I saw that tweet. Maybe, who's to say in a couple months we look back on how this played out for Bray on his road to WrestleMania, and we say, okay, you know what, that made sense. Pitch Black didn't hit, but I get it now. But this pressure to have, kind of a visceral reaction every week. If we're leaving Rumble, I would agree with you. I don't know that I'm here for Bray and Alexa reuniting. I think I'm just still just emotionally hurt by how everything went down at WrestleMania when the Fiend effectively died, according to Bray in his interview with Ryan Satin. So us seeing the visual of gooey Alexa and Uncle Howdy asking her if she feels in control, maybe this could all work out and I'll look ridiculous, but I I haven't really been yearning for those two to reunite. So again, maybe in the long run, I know you agree with me, right? Maybe in the long run this works out, but like
I
you
think
said,
goo was the word that got me.
yeah, I think it was. I just want good things for Alexa. To me, it doesn't seem, watching from my couch, of course, right? Having never taken an official bump, it would seem to me that Alexa and Bianca don't have great
No,
chemistry. It
not
just
at all.
doesn't. It just doesn't quite work.
No.
This wasn't great.
No, it's bad. The final thoughts, I thought on the way out, I don't know if you noticed them, Jess kept missing them. When Bray did his entrance, all the characters, the Firefly Funhouse characters, were on the ramp with him, and they were in the background.
I thought I saw one of them. I forget who.
Oh,
now.
there was
Maybe
all
it was
of them.
Huskus. Okay.
Huskus, Mercy, Abigail, they were all on the ramp. So they must have gone from there to the top to wait for the non-Howdy bump happen.
Okay.
Here's why I think it was too long. Number one, I thought the match length was too short. First of all, because they didn't really get a match, they got a murder. Made LA Knight look like a dunce. I hated that about it. He never got on the microphone. We know that's his strength. He's a great worker, but it's like they're all great workers. So you could have put anybody in there. I was like, why put Baron Corbin in that spot? Because it's not going to hurt him at all. People don't know LA Knight yet.
Yeah. Instead, Corbin got destroyed by Lesnar. That was fun during the Rumble.
LA Knight getting destroyed by Lesnar would have been even better because everybody wants to boo him anyway, right?
Yeah,
that would have made more sense just flip-flopping those roles, because then Corbin getting killed, nobody cares. Like, it's not going to hurt Corbin. People know Corbin. He's in his place, kind of firmly entrenched right now, and it wouldn't have moved one way or another. Where LA Knight, I think, is going to be a big star for the company for a while, but I don't know what he does now after this. What does he come out and say? Let me talk to you. And then what are we going to hear? Like, you lost, you got jumped on by a Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
And the thing that bothered me was that we went from the matches over to, this is the first time we're seeing this character, this new Bray Wyatt character. And what do? Transform him into another Bray Wyatt character after the match. I don't know what's going on. The audience doesn't know what's going on. They all had a reaction and everybody went, whoa. But that was like, whoa, are we still doing this? Or is that, whoa, this is cool? Because I'm not really sure. We haven't had time to process new Bray. And you're already giving us new Bray? What are we doing here? So they should have just stopped it there, ended it, did something else, and then just gone on with their day instead of introducing new masks and all this other stuff. Why do you need a mask if you have this phosphorescent makeup on your face? Like, why do you have to put on another mask? What's going on? I think that would have made more sense over time, because now we have more questions, we have answers, which you can say, ooh, that's compelling. I want to watch to find out more. I don't. I'm already too confused. Like, I don't want to see more because there's already too much. And people will go, but lore. We went from lore to another match with Alexa Bliss with Bianca, which was meh. And then it ended with more lore, which seems to be connected. But it's like, you think you're in control? Bro, we don't know who you are. Nobody knows what's going on. Are you in control of this story? Nothing makes sense right now. And I just, like, if it wouldn't destroy my TV, I would have thrown a tomato at it.
It's hard to argue with your points there. I agree with you. I think he's going to rein us back in because we have so much.
I agree. I love him.
We have so much trust in his creativity,
Yeah.
and because of how disastrously it's ended in previous iterations of Bray, I'm just of the consistent belief that it has to work this time. It just can't dissolve like his other characters have. He's too brilliant. He's too awesome for that. So we'll see. That this wasn't it in either case, but what was it, Brad? You spotlighted this earlier. I'm going to pass it to you. We had KO, Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns, our tribal chief. It main evented this show. That was a surprise to me. I did not foresee that coming in. I know Fightful reported the match order ahead of time, so shout out to them. We knew something big was going to happen. Roman retains. Not a huge surprise there. These two guys are great, so solid match. We've seen them before. Saw them again here. The real money was in the post-match angle. Sami Uso is no longer. Brad, this was a spectacle. This was high art.
Yeah, it truly was.
All of your thoughts.
Sammy's acting is next level. Roman's acting is next level. I thought everybody involved played their role perfectly. KO became a sympathetic character simply by living up to his promise. I'm going to beat you for that belt, or I'm going to die trying. Bro died. Like he was executed.
He took on his Curtis Jackson 50 Cent mode. Yeah, that dude. Yeah, he didn't get rich. He died trying.
Yeah, he got obliterated by Roman at the end there. Superman punch into the spear. 1, 2, 3. I thought all of that was great. I thought the match was fine. I mean, it was like, my guess is that when Meltzer rates it, it's going to end up being 3 stars, maybe, which is all it needed to be. It needed to be a good match, and it was a good match because we weren't there for the match. We were there for the storytelling and watching Sammy's face, realizing like, oh, I screwed up. Like the part that got me in the match was when Sami delayed on the chair, and that led to KO having an opening and almost beating Roman, and Sammy's reactions through the whole thing. But when he stopped Roman from hitting a handcuffed KO who'd been super kicked 15 times,
that was
head smashed. The worst part was the stair spots were bad. That first one was really brutal. Yeah. And then when they did it again, like you could hear it, the crowd was into this. And I think it was like, as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, Sammy's going to step in here to save his friend. And they're going to give him the Fredo spot or something here where he has that chance. And he turns his back on the Bloodline to save KO, not because he doesn't believe in it, but because he didn't want to take it that far and it was unnecessary. He saw Roman as a monster, I think, in that moment. And I thought that was great. What I didn't expect out of that was Jay. So we got a shield spot here. We had Roman turning his back, handing the chair to Sami, and Sami going to hit KO, and he just nails Roman with that chair.
Yeah, full Seth Rollins.
Thunderous. Mode. Yes, thunderous pop. But it was the opposite reaction, I feel like. When Seth did it, people were like, oh, God, no, the shield.
You're right.
When Sami did it, it was like, F yes.
Huge pop. Yeah. Road Warrior pop from the crowd.
It was incredible.
It's cathartic.
Paul Heyman's facial expressions. He is the most underrated player in all of this. Paul Heyman is incredible.
The wise man. Shout out to Smith.
The wise man. Yeah.
The wise man.
He has been perfect in this role. Perfect. Whatever he's getting paid for this, just double it. He doesn't ever need to do anything ever again. Just have him do this. He's the quiet Brock Lesnar manager.
He's so good, even during the entrance when he Roshan moments for the belt. Paul hands it to him, and then Paul and he's fixated on watching the belt. And he does the Drake prayer hands.
Yes,
it's just all of it is so.
He worships him. He's even saying, "Worship your tribal chief."
You know how much I've enjoyed the tribal chief Roman Reigns bloodline.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Tyler, it's the best thing. I said this, and I don't think this is a hot take. This is the best thing in wrestling. It might be the best thing that wrestling's ever done, storyline wise, maybe ever.
Wow. I was saying, not even of the last decade. You're putting potentially
all time.
Wow,
all time. Think about how long this has gone on. The Sami drama in particular, but all of the Bloodline stuff, from main event Jay into creating the Bloodline, getting Jay and Jimmy when Jimmy came back from his knee surgery, to calling up Solo, to introducing Sami into the family, to creating this giant faction that's all related, minus Sami Uso, the honorary Uso. All of it, the storytelling with KO, acknowledging that of a history that goes back pre-WWE, all of this stuff has just coalesced into this beautiful storytelling package, and we get this finish. And we knew it was going to finish. They told us at the beginning of the Rumble, they gave us chapters, and all stories must come to an end, right? Like that, it ended. Last night it ended, but it didn't end.
Shakespearean.
That part of it ended. I wouldn't call it the final chapter. Would call it close to the final chapter because we know it's not done. And if it is, they're just leaving money on the table because now we have huge pop babyface Sami Zayn probably teaming with KO, but I don't know if that's going to happen because Jay walking away from Roman seems to have caused a rift with Jimmy. How's that going to affect their tag team future? Like there's so many storylines that came out of this with Sami, with KO, with Jay, with the rest of the bloodline, all of those potentially interacting with each other at some point. It could be KO and it could be Sami winning those belts with Jay accidentally costing themselves the win when he tries to intervene if Solo gets involved or something. I could see that happening. And then Jay and Roman again, because they put on great matches together. So who knows, man? Who knows? But I loved all of this. I've taken enough time. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, that was amazing. I share so many of the sentiments that you expressed. It's fantastic. It's the perfect balance of predictable yet rewarding in terms of, okay, we knew they were going to break up. Sami having that chair moment, predictable but awesome. Like you said, though, having this unpredictable element of Jay. I don't think any of us foresaw that Jay was going to walk out like that and have such an emotional sort of inner turmoil about, wait, I actually love Sami and I don't think I want to be a part of attacking him. It was great. So we saw some of it coming, but there was a huge element that we did not. And that's going to lead to us continuing to tune in and to see where exactly this goes. Like you said, Brad, what does this mean for the tag team titles? I think we were ready to pencil in Usos versus Sami and KO, Grudge Match City, opening Mania Night 1, 5-Star Jones. Now, maybe not so much. Maybe it's Jimmy and Solo. Maybe I don't know. I still envision Owens and Sami becoming tag champs. I think that payoff needs to happen. But maybe it's Solo and Jimmy. Maybe it's not Jimmy and Jay. And does this elevate Jay? Maybe a main event Jay 2.0? I don't know. Do we get Sami versus Roman at Elimination Chamber in Quebec? There's like you said, there's a lot of elements here that are working well. And I can't think of immediately which WWE storyline tops this. Really, since I've been watching. I mean, we've had the Ministry of Darkness. We've had Rock versus Cena. We've had Sasha versus Bayley in NXT. All hits. But the Bloodline, it's really, I think it stands above all.
I was absolutely muted. I was going to say some of those were great feuds, like Bayley and Sasha, but I don't know if I would call it the best storyline. Right?
No, exactly. It's not this.
The Ministry of Darkness storyline was great until McMahon was revealed. Like, it gave us that moment, but it was the shittiest payoff ever.
Yeah,
it was me, Austin. That was
yeah. No, it's not. They're not swimming in the same pool as this.
No. So we've had like the rise of factions that weren't really storylines, like DX. Undeniably great when it became actually DX was fine. It became great when Shawn left the company and retired and Triple H took over and they made it different. It became
right.
The Are You Ready? The ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Yeah. We're doing all of that stuff. I like that's when it became great, but it wasn't great storylines.
No, it was still a lot of slapstick humor.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
Each episode was good.
It wasn't as intricate as what we're getting.
No, now. I don't know that I've ever seen anything like this. Especially not with multiple individuals involved. It's just different. It's not Rock Cena. It's not even Hogan Rock. It's not Rock Austin ever. Those are great rivalries and great feuds and great moments, but it's never been like this 6-month story or several years story, if you're going to include all of it, like Roman approaching 900 days. Just no, there's never nothing's ever been done like this. People have left the company and come back in the time that Roman has been champ. Several times over.
It's been amazing. I'm such a huge fan of Roman. I am consistently elated that he is having this moment. And frankly, you can call me a mark, Brad, but I'm not yearning for him to drop the belt either. Do I think he's dropping to Cody in LA? Yeah, for sure. But I'm not yearning to see him drop that belt. I'm still here for Roman running all of WWE.
I feel like maybe he might drop one sooner.
Really? Quebec to Sami?
Well, I think that maybe Pierce or Triple H gets involved or whoever they come out that's in charge. That says your attack on Kevin Owens. as retribution because of how aggressive the Bloodline was. You have to defend the belt at Elimination Chamber, and they'll put like the Universal title up for grabs. That way, one of them is up, not both.
Wow.
And
Wow.
he has to
Okay.
defend in the match. That way, he can lose the belt without losing the match. Well, actually, Elimination Chamber, he'd have to lose. So maybe not. Never mind. I take it back. I totally take it back. It won't happen. I think outside of Cody at Mania, I don't think that he can lose cleanly. It has to be some kind of thing that happens to him to lose. They have to protect him and keep this going. I don't want him losing for like, let him have it for another 2 years. I don't care. I've loved this man. Like Roman Reigns, underrated actor, underrated seller. All of that stuff was great. The look at the camera screamed, "Oh my God, this happened again," when Sami hit him. Right? Like it didn't seem like I'm shocked he did it. It was, I can't believe this is happening again.
Full circle.
Yes, I loved it. So I think that was great. Just all of it. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what the fallout is on Monday. Final question, final thoughts on the Rumble as we approach way longer than we thought we would go today. Which maybe we make this 2 shows. I don't know. Probably one for my sanity. Do you think that we see Sami or KO for a while? You think they show up tomorrow or Friday?
No, I don't think so. We know they're going to be at Elimination Chamber. It's going to be awesome to see them in their home country. No, I don't. We should not see them after that heinous attack. I don't want to see them for at least 2 or 3 weeks.
I agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Keep them off TV and let people breathe. Have the Bloodline start talking mad trash about whatever. They can focus on the Jay storyline for a little while, and then they can come back and things will get interesting.
Yeah, the return's going to be epic.
It feels like they have to start setting up the Cody Roman stuff, right? Like this is where it begins. So yeah, that'll be interesting. We're probably going to get some Cody Bloodline matches, and that'll be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of things that are going to be good, Brad, The Bachelor season 27 is back. Its premiere episode occurred very recently, this past week, and I have some thoughts on it. So if you would be so kind as to hit my music.
And now, for a rose from GI's most eligible bachelor.
Let's do this thing. I'm going to try not to overstay my welcome. Zach eliminated 10 women by the end of this premiere episode. So here are the names: Madison, Olivia, Kara, Holland, Lekka, Vanessa. One of your picks, Brad. She's out. Vanessa, Olivia M, Sonia, which was a huge surprise, Victoria E, and Becca are all gone. So I hate to inform you, Brad, but we had our fantasy draft. Vanessa was in your top 3. She is Dunsky. She is gone. Your other 2 are still there. I think we have your exact picks as well. Here, let me make sure we're doing this right. I have way too many tabs. Yes, you have Anastasia and Mercedes still in it, so you are looking good. I got Catherine, Charity, and Brianna. I am all set there. I learned that my reasons to feel optimistic this season are still going strong, man. Our article on gimmickinfringementpod.com, we shared our fantasy draft predictions. We each chose 3 women who we think will make it to finale night. And I also included some reasons for us to feel hopeful about this season. As you know, as Bachelor Nation is aware, there were a lot of strong feelings, anti-Zach feelings heading into the season. Like, why is this dude chosen out of so many more charismatic, I would argue more diverse options? But here are the reasons I listed on our site. So we are returning to 1 lead. I think Rachel and Gabby being together for a dual season was well-intentioned, but was just super messy to no fault of their own. So we're returning to the classic 1 lead. We have women of all shades in this season, which makes me happy. Jesse Palmer is still hosting. Chris Harrison is not, whichever basement that dude crawled back into. And finally, the Clayton similarities. So Zach and Clayton really remind me of each other. I did not realize that Zach played football at Cal Poly. That was news to me. So I think I really called this, that him and Clayton are mirror images of each other. And I think the season still has the potential to go haywire pretty quickly. The personalities between Clayton and Zach seem very similar. I think that I just think it has the potential to go south really, really quickly for our benefit as an audience. So yeah, man, one of your choices is gone. I'm sorry to inform you about Vanessa, but you still got 2 women in here. I still got my 3, and I think this season might not be too terrible after all.
Well, my DraftKings sportsbook bets on this season they're busted. Just busted.
They're done already.
Yeah.
One episode in.
I actually got to say, like, maybe I'd be more interested if they did run a match for.
I think we could get more viewers that way. Yeah.
I know the wrestling events do that occasionally, and I didn't check it out this time. But the Rumble stuff, I love doing just prop bets. I think they're fun. I don't actually like putting money on it, but I like doing how many times do you think somebody will get hit with a chair? Do you think anybody will slip? Who falls off and blah, blah, blah. I think that who accidentally gets eliminated in the match.
I think we need that for The Bachelor, because on this debut episode, we saw a woman, Leica, who was eliminated. She licked Zach during her interaction with him after the limousine entrance. Like, hey, I'm Zach. Who are you? I'm Leica, blah, blah, blah. She ended up licking him, which, listen, man, I'm not here to kink shame, but I don't think Zach was into it, and she ended up getting the boot. Another woman caught feelings for Zach pretty early on, and he just said, hey, I'm not quite seeing that with you, so you gots to go. So some of these traditional Bachelor moments we definitely saw, and I think if we could infuse that with DraftKings, this may be this may increase viewership. I love this idea.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll be able to do it for a heavily edited overtime show, but
this is true. Yeah. And I forgot if Leica did that on the intro or later in the episode, but I knew she ended up licking dude.
Was it so that he would remember her name?
I think so. I think it was sort of a like,
you'll never forget my name.
I'm coming in hot. He checked moment, and it was an air ball.
Well, I know what's not going to be an air ball, and that is your AEW question for me, Tyler. Hit me with it.
Yeah,
that was an air ball right there. That was a bit of a brick of a lead.
We got some AEW talk here. So here's my question for you, my man. What a tribute to the late Jay Briscoe on Dynamite. It was so great seeing his brother Mark also, have that time, right? Him and Jay Lethal got time, right, and for the locker room to come out and the fans to be there in Kentucky. Just super cool. Job well done on the tribute video package as well. Truly touching stuff. That being said, I want to focus on the main event of Rampage. AEW Women's World Champion Jamie Hayter defeated Emi Sakura. Amazing match, and Hayter continues to shine as champ. We're 2 months and change into Jamie Hayter's title reign. Brad, you've been a proud Hayter from the start. What are your thoughts so far on the Hayter era? And I need an updated prediction from you. Who faces her at Revolution in March?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer is to that. Not just yet. My guess is one of the non-AEW originals, whoever that might be. I think maybe, I don't know. What I do know, I loved this. I love her run so far. It feels like she's picking people to work with. And I don't know if that's how that works there, but it feels like she's working with people that she's had a history with, that she knows will be a spectacle. In particular, she's going, yes, these people I've worked with in Japan. These are the people that we need to have matches with because they're going to work strong style with me. And a lot of people that are in that locker room don't know how to do that or haven't worked that way or don't like to work that way. So getting to see that was great. I knew this match was going to rule. Emi's been wrestling for 55,000 years, it seems, and still looks incredible. I don't get it. I always like her spots. Like she'll do the thing. If you watch Dark, I don't know if you caught her on Dark, but she'll do this thing where she'll go up like behind the ref and like kind of hit him in the back of the knee. So they go down on one knee, and then she'll sit on their knee and kind of pose. It's hilarious every time she does it.
I've not seen that.
Oh, it's so great. It's so great. She's great. It's really good to have her on Dark because she's probably helping a ton of people back there as a coach and as a veteran talent, and she gets to work with those individuals. So I was really, really, really happy to see her on Dynamite, where she's getting a bigger spotlight, where she deserves to be, frankly, for her career. So I loved that. I love what Jamie's doing with this. Like, name a bad Jamie Hayter match.
Impossible.
It's just not there. It's why I said in those couple of losses she had when she first came back, I was like, she needs to stop losing because she's going to be a champ. She's the best wrestler on the roster right now. And at the time, I still believe that she was. She's not the best sports entertainer on the roster in the women's side. Definitely not. Like Jade is probably in the women's division. It's probably her. As far as a wrestler goes, I defy you to find somebody that's better than her. I don't see it. She is close. She is real close. Tony Storm is right there. Tony Storm is right there. There's a ton of great talent on that roster right now. It's the AEW women's division has gotten loaded. If I were to pick today who I want to see in March, because I want to see the match, Jamie Hayter, Athena. That's who I want. I believe we'd be able to hear it from here. You'd hear it in space.
I think so. I also sent you, or you may have sent me. I don't know. We dialogued about the promo videos now being posted for the Phoenix show. So AEW's Facebook and Twitter have them all out. And seeing Jamie Hayter and with Rebel behind her promoting the Phoenix show. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, if you want to see your women's world champ, you best get tickets now. Just made me so happy that she has reached this star level. It makes me happy for you because you called it way before anyone else that I know, but it also just makes me so eager to see what's next for her. And I hope she carries that belt at least to Double or Nothing, if not further. She is amazing right now. Part of me is picturing a Jamie Hayter versus Chris Statlander match at some point later this year. At that point, just take all of my money. This division is really progressing nicely.
Yeah, it's so good, and it needs to be bigger and better, but it's getting there. I'm glad that we're getting more women's matches and they're getting more time. They're not where I would like to see them, but they're getting there. So whatever. This match this week was a ton of fun. I don't know what they do with her. I feel like they're kind of going week to week, taking a break, week to week, taking a break. Doing that where it's like Jamie's involved maybe in a tag match, but usually she doesn't wrestle every week. She certainly doesn't defend every week, nor should she. And every time she ends up defending, it ends up being some sort of Hoss fest. So if we're going to get that for free, give it to me all day long.
Yeah. And my final thought here on this one is thinking about Revolution really being right around the corner for the first weekend in March. On the men's side, it seems like we're getting the seeds planted. If not, the trees have been grown at this point in terms of what the men's title matches are going to be. We know we have MJF versus Danielson. I would argue on the TNT side, Darby versus Hobbs in Hobbs's home state.
So you have Darby surviving next week.
I do have Darby. Yeah, exactly. I'm assuming Darby survives, Joe. Here, and then we'll face Hobbs at Revolution in Cali. And on the tag team men's side of things, Acclaimed versus Guns. I don't know if that's the pay-per-view match, but if I were laying money on it at this point, Brad, it seems like, the Guns at Family Therapy said, like, Dad, you want to know what we want? We want those two title belts right there. Women's side of things, I just really want to see how this progresses. Who is the Jade match? But then also going back to my question for you, who is the Jamie Hayter title match? Maybe Saraya, maybe a four-way dance. I just hope the belt is defended by Jamie at that show. I do not want to see a 6-women tag, or I just want her to have a prominent title defense at Revolution.
Maybe they call somebody in from Japan. Maybe they have somebody come in. Maybe it's Kyrie. Maybe it's who knows at that.
Are you saying we get Mercedes?
I don't think so,
Do we
but
get her?
I would love that, but I don't think
Yeah,
so.
probably Forbidden Door.
It could even be somebody like Dark Starlight Kid or Julia, or like get somebody
I can see that.
from across the pond that will draw. Well, and if it doesn't, then I don't care. I just want to see it. It's for
Yeah,
me.
and you have a huge, I should say, NJPW fan base in California, right?
Yeah, and
They're running
yeah.
Battle in the Valley a month prior.
Before I get to my question, because it bounces right off of this, because of course it does. I want to talk about the Acclaimed and the Guns. That segment, that family therapy section segment. I don't know if you thought this the way that I did, but I felt like the Guns talked circles around the Acclaimed there. They seemed much more comfortable on the microphone. Bowens was fine. Caster just seems a bit lost when he has to improvise on the mic, and the Guns just look natural. They're stars. They're legitimately going to be huge stars in the business, in the tag team division. I People hate them right now and are booing them, and it's because they're good at their jobs. They're really good talkers. FTR has praised their work in the ring. They've also praised the Acclaim. I think when this match happens, people are going to be shocked at how good it is. I truly believe that. I think this has the potential to be one of the best tag matches that we've seen in a very long time.
Wow.
And
I hope we consider clipping this moment, Brad. I did not expect you to go there.
I think it's going to be great. They haven't had their opportunity to really, really shine. Acclaimed has. The Guns haven't, but the Guns have had some matches where they've been really, really good. They're great sellers. They're great at their facial expressions and all of that stuff. Like, it's going to be great. And in-ring work is better and better every time I see them. So I think they're going to put on a great show. I don't know if they win the belts. I don't know if they should yet. I don't think that's the move. I think the Acclaim should take it for a long time. They're so hot right now. Like, why throw water on that fire?
You got to ride that wave.
Yeah. So if they do take it off of them, it'll be a mistake. And then I feel like the Acclaim needs to go out and win it right back. But we'll see what happens. I don't know what'll happen, but we'll find out, man. So my question for you is of course Jamie Hayter related. I wanted this. So like it's pretty simple. I had to pull it up to see what I wrote because it's a very simple question. Not what's happening next, not what's next week for Jamie Hayter, not what matches do you want to not see her in. We've covered that. I want you to fantasy book her next Hoss fight. Who is it?
Wow. Speaking my language, her next Hoss fight. I already threw the Chris Statlander idea out there, which I now need that. But with Chris recovering from injury, that's probably not. And so, I mean, we don't know Chris Statlander's where she's at with her recovery. She posted on Instagram that, she's healthy or on her road to getting healthy. So that's amazing, but that's probably not till Double or Nothing or All Out. In the interim, a Haas match for Jamie Hayter. And you're saying I could choose anyone in the larger pro wrestling landscape or AEW?
Anyone that can actually feasibly do it. So like, you can't be like Raquel. Or
Rhea, no Bianca Belair.
Bianca.
Super dream match.
Oh my God. Imagine that.
Could you imagine? Can we talk about my fantasy draft booking of Bianca versus Jade and how people just overlook that and overlook your trios division? We love Matt though. This is
give Jade 2 more years to cook in the ring. And then I'm on that level. Right now it's man. I wouldn't be that into it. I would be into it aesthetically, but like match wise, it'd be a lot of big boots and stuff, and that would be kind of it.
Okay. I'll go back to answering your question here. Haas match for Chris Statlander. What is conceivable right now? Man, I'm so focused on Statlander versus Hayter. I can't get that out of my mind. That's the match I want right now. In terms of the current AEW women's division, like you said, Brad, I think we would maybe need to bring in say a Julia. I don't know if you consider Julia a Haas. I know you're a huge fan of hers. I think maybe Julia versus Jamie Hayter is that match. Other than her on the AEW women's roster, who else is considered a Haas right now other than Jade? You got Saraya, you got Britt, you have Toni Storm, Thunder Rosa, Sky Blue, Red Velvet. I don't know if there's a certified Haas that's waiting for her. So my answer to you is Julia / Chris Statlander. and I think those are pay-per-view worthy.
So I'm not sure yet. However, I wouldn't mind one of these two.
Okay, I'm ready.
I would really like to see her versus Yuka,
Oh,
the magical girl. We got Yuka Sakazaki would be great.
yeah, I've enjoyed her work.
Or Yamashita. I think Yamashita is the better pick of just kicking people's heads off. I think that could be a lot of fun with Jamie Hayter. In terms of the current AEW roster that we haven't seen, I don't know that there is anybody. There are people that were on the roster that just sort of unceremoniously left AEW that I was like, oh, where did this person go? Oh, they're not there anymore. They just retired entirely from wrestling after being signed, having one match, and then disappearing forever. It's really weird how that works. But there's just a whole bunch of people that I think they'd have to pull over to do the wrestling. Otherwise, I do believe contracts are up. Chelsea Green's out there. I don't know that I want to see Chelsea Green and Jamie Hayter because I don't know this, but I feel like Jamie Hayter would just chop through her whole body. And I've never seen Chelsea Green in a match like that. Lady Frost, I could see Jordan Grace and Deonna Purrazzo, we both know, are potentially available candidates. I don't see Jordan Grace leaving because Gresham signed over there. And after his time in AEW, probably she doesn't want to go there. But I could definitely see somebody like a Jordan Grace or a Deonna Purrazzo coming over to do some business.
Yeah, I love that. I don't know if we've gotten Mercedes Martinez versus Jamie Hayter, but that would rule.
Is she even wrestling anymore? Like she's
maybe coaching.
She might be. She was the champ, got injured. She's I think she's what, mid-40s. So I don't know how much career she has left in front of her. But that would be a fun match.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sign me up. There was someone else I was thinking of now that escaped my mind. You mentioned great. This is our seldom NWA talk on here. Camille from NWA.
Oh,
Granted,
great.
Admittedly, I haven't watched NWA in months, maybe since Empower. But my last recollection is that Camille was sort of their Charlotte Flair. Like aesthetically looked pretty similar. I mean, her name is Camille Brickhouse. If you told me that we would get Camille versus Jamie Hayter, as long as it doesn't lead to Tyrus entering the AEW world,
God,
I would absolutely be here for it. Camille versus Hayter, I think that could do some good numbers and it'd just be an awesome match.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that visual that I have stuck in my head of Camille is her standing over Layla, right? That's the one where she came out in heels.
Yes.
Like ridiculously high heels. It stood over tiny Layla Hirsch.
I do not know of her. I do not know. Yes, great shout. I do not know of her aspirations or again what she's done in NWA over the last year. I'll confess that. But in terms of potential free agents out there, I think Camille is a huge name. And with Tessa Blanchard just really dissolving over the last few years for personal reasons and rumored, personality characteristics, I think Camille is kind of a sleeping giant in terms of who we could see popping up in WWE or AEW and having a huge, no pun intended, impact.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential people out there. None of them are currently on the AEW roster that aren't already in storylines or she hasn't already feuded with in some way. So wouldn't hate a Jamie Hayter Thunder Rosa match if Thunder Rosa comes back. That's the one, I think. But
yeah, definitely.
I don't know if Thunder Rosa will ever wrestle again with her back issues. So who knows?
Yeah.
Hope so.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll be tuning in. Brad, what are you looking forward to this week?
Tyler, I think I'm looking forward to a little bit of rest, but more than anything, I'm looking forward to Raw and SmackDown. I can't wait to see what happens here. I got to know what's next, and I have to know if it's going to suck. So I'll be tuning in to find out. I'm hoping that they treat the Raw after the Rumble a lot like Raw after WrestleMania, and we get some returns and some surprises and maybe some new feuds and storylines. I'm a little surprised. I don't know what Carmella's situation is, but I'm hoping that Carmella's back. For all I know right now, she's not injured. She's at home pregnant. Like, they don't always announce this stuff and some people keep it close to the vest. If that's the case, we're not seeing her for a while, but Maybe we get a returning Carmella next week or tomorrow. Maybe we get somebody else. I don't know. Or maybe nothing at all. Little surprised Madcap Moss wasn't in the Rumble. Maybe he comes back. Maybe Rick Boogs comes back. I don't know. It could be something simple. Where's Nakamura? I'm tuning in to find out. I want to know what happens with the Bloodline. I want to know what's happening. You know, Roman's not going to be on the show more than likely, but I can't wait to see what happens. Other than that, I'm looking forward to the week being over.
Yeah, I'm gonna be tuning in right there with you. Maybe even to Raw this time. You know, I'm not the consistent Raw viewer, but SmackDown's usually a yes. Raw may need to be added to my list, given all the reasons that you laid out. Just quickly, in terms of the work side of things, we have this really cool conference. It's called Recharge, stylized all caps, and it is occurring at our campus this week. And apparently, they're bringing about 500 Indigenous youth, grades 6 through 12, to campus for presentations, a resource fair, really a college-going, type deal. So I'm really excited about that. This is the first time I participated in one of these. I'll be giving a presentation with colleagues about our teachers' college and then taking part in the resource fair. So, man, I just feel really, I know it's going to sound like I'm shilling for work, but truly I feel really blessed to be in a position where I can speak to what college has meant to me and how it's impacted my life and my family's lives, and now share that with a 6th grader or a 10th grader or a 12th grader. I think part of what bonds you and I, Brad, is how much we enjoy, stories and how we enjoy learning and what college and education has meant to us personally, professionally, etc.
Right.
So yeah, man, just really excited about that. Hoping it goes well. Fingers crossed. And my words are coherent and technology is in our favor for that presentation. But like you, man, big week in wrestling and really excited for what AEW and WWE have in store for us.
I feel like I'm missing things too. I have no idea. There's got to be something else that I'm missing this week, but it's probably not something I'm looking forward to if I can't think of it right now. So excited for the week ahead and excited for doing this again. Back to a normal week next week.
Yeah, man. Well said. So if you haven't already, highly encourage you to follow us on Twitter. We can be found at GIPod19. Of course, we're on Facebook too. Look us up. Brad can be found at Wind Duster. I can be found at Tyler J. McDowell. And please show some love to our website, gimmickinfringementpod.com. This is where I put over Brad. The man is exceptional, as you know. Particularly exceptional with the art he creates. If you've not seen our rebrand, our new logo, our revamped website, highly encourage you to if you have a few minutes. We have new articles up there. Again, we have new art. It's just so beautiful to look at. And Brad, I can't give you enough shouts, man. You really just went above and beyond. I can't believe you got us a luchador mask. And then the rose, the swing set, it really encompasses what we try to do here. So gimmickandfringementpod.com. We absolutely appreciate you. Appreciate all of you listening and watching. Thank you so much for being here. And we hope you'll join us on the next episode. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Good Pods, our premier partners, and Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.